and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, is my co-host, Jose Romero.
Greetings, salutations, nerds around the world. We are back. Nerdsplaining. A lot of stuff happening. Very glad we don't work for Disney or ABC.
Oh, wow.
Hello.
Yeah.
Say what we want around here.
Let me just say, I was on the verge of canceling my Hulu and my Disney and then pirating it because I wasn't going to not watch it. I'm just not going to feed the man. But they brought, and by the way, thank God they brought Jimmy Kimmel back because I did not want to admit the reason I joined the resistance is because of Jimmy Kimmel. Like, that is not the thing I wanted to brag on myself. Like, oh, good. Woo!
Fair.
All back to garbage. All right. Much better now.
Jimmy Kimmel. I'm not a fan of Jimmy Kimmel, but I get it.
Yeah, that's my point. I was doing a joke. This is probably not a point for the show, but I doing a joke. I go, fighting for the First Amendment rights because of Jimmy Kimmel is like seeing a domestic violence action happening where the woman is clearly being abused by the man, and you should help, but the woman is ugly, and you're like, ugh, I don't wanna. I mean, I should, and I'm going to, but no part of me wants to. It's just the right thing to do. So yeah.
Funny. Hey, listen, like I said, they ain't gonna shut us down. ABC ain't don't work for it. They don't pay us. Disney. What a shame.
Listen, if you're entire,
I mean, it's funny because let's be honest. Disney's been doing this for a while, right?
Yeah,
they've been doing this for a while on both sides. It's like,
well, one is because they were trying to do the right thing. The other one's because they were scared of the government interfering. I will say this, that if your entire, but if like what is now, you would say at least 50% of their IP control is rebels, heroes, and altruistic high morals to do garbage like this, you're like, what are you doing? Like, no, that's not. If you didn't have these IPs, if you didn't raise us on this, we would not have this. Like,
that's true. They increased prices.
But that too. How dare they? Yeah.
The whole thing was just ridiculous. But like at the end of the day, I blame Disney.
I blame Disney too.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. It's Disney.
It is. You're right.
It was their call.
It's
their call.
It is. Now, mind you, is it also the affiliates? Yes, but Disney's call. Absolutely.
Of course, Disney's call.
Absolutely.
They don't have to bend the knee.
They're big enough. They went toe to toe with DeSantis in Florida. What are you doing? Come on.
That's what I'm exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it was weird. The whole thing was weird.
Yeah.
Whatever. Back to normal, I guess. Lesson learned form.
Back to garbage. It's not normal.
Back to garbage. Sure, fair enough. No one's watching Kimmel anyway, so let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think those shows are the way to dodo. They're going to be gone within a couple of years, I think.
Listen.
And that's all because the ratings have been bad for all of them. They haven't been doing well.
Well, because no one's really watching TV anymore. That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Those shows just don't do it,
There's a reason. There's a reason when every time Emmy season comes, out of all those shows, who's the one that wins the Emmy every time? John Oliver. Why? HBO. People actually watch HBO.
And that's fair, right? And just your platform, do what you want. But yeah, so listen, back to normal. All that aside, nerds can rejoice or not rejoice. Whatever side of the coin you feel about Jimmy Kimmel, there's stuff to get excited about. We got some comic stuff. I know you wanted to jump in. So let's start with the comic book stuff. You showed me a couple of nice little covers,
Nerds out here, September, we can rejoice with this little beauty right here, Deadpool Batman, which is not the cover for Deadpool Batman. This is Daredevil Green Arrow, which, by the way, is one of the backup stories in his book, written by Kevin Smith. And if you're an OG comic fan, you know Kevin Smith did Daredevil when he relaunched Daredevil for Marvel Knights. And because of that, Kevin Smith was able to relaunch and bring back from the dead Green Arrow, because they killed Green Arrow because nobody was reading Green Arrow at the time. And so they killed him up, and he brought him back just on name recognition alone. Adam Cooper draws it. It's fantastic. The main story is drawn by Greg Capullo, which if you're a DC fan, he did the Batman run for New 52. He's the one introduced to Court of Owls, which is apparently rumored to be one of the maybe possible big bad for Batman 2. Who knows? So he does that, and Deadpool is great. And here's the crazy part. The guy who wrote this book, the Batman Deadpool main story, is called Zeb Wells. Zeb Wells has gone under fire recently for having what some is referred to as the worst Amazing Spider-Man run of all time. People, hardcore nerds hated it, but everyone, it was really weird. When Zeb Wells was writing Amazing Spider-Man, it proved that Amazing Spider-Man is bigger than the creator on the book because it was still the #1 book for Marvel. That's how many. But like people who like reviewed comics or hated the run. It didn't feel right. It felt like wearing your friend's underwear and your friend is a big fat guy. You're like, this does not feel comfortable and it smells weird and it's doing the job of
It's an
underwear.
interesting comparison.
Yeah.
All right.
But none of it feels good. And so that's what, but his Batman Deadpool, solid. And we're going to be talking about this later on. Marvel Zombies, also written by Zeb Wells. And you'll hear my review about that as we talk about it later. But yes, that's that. So the Marvel, DC, September, November, DC, Marvel. So we'll talk about that too.
So Green Arrow got kindled in a way.
Oh yeah. Dude, he got kindled in the worst way possible. Superman and him were fighting terrorists, and the terrorists, the terrorist had Green Arrow, and he was like, okay, so this is gonna be a little bit meta. In the Dark Knight Returns, which by the way, in this book, Old Man Logan versus Dark Knight Returns, Old Man Batman. Though both done by Frank Miller. Unfortunately, it's the new style that he does, which is not great. But the fact that he's on it is really cool. Green Arrow shows up to help Batman when he's fighting Superman. No one ever talks about that. They always talk about Dark Knight Returns, Old Man Batman versus Superman. But Green Arrow's there, and Green Arrow only has one arm. And in the comic, it's referenced that the reason he lost his arm was because of Superman. So in Green Arrow 100, talk about Nerdsplaining, unexpected, but here we go. But you brought the Kimmel thing, so I got to talk about it.
No, go ahead.
In Dark Knight, in Green Arrow 100, Green Arrow and Superman are fighting these terrorists, and it gets to the point where the terrorist straps a bomb to Green Arrow's shooting arm, and he's like, if you let us go, you can lose your arm, but you'll still be alive. But if you don't let us go, we'll all die. And so everyone's thinking, oh man, this is the moment from Dark Knight Returns. Superman's gonna laser off his arm to save Ollie and let all the terrorists die. And Green Arrow's like, screw you, and he just blows them all up. Like I am nothing without my shooting arm. And so they all die. And Superman's just left in the explosion going, what the hell just happened? That blew everyone away. And then Kevin Smith was like, I happen to like Green Arrow. I'm a Green Arrow fan. So I'm gonna bring Green Arrow back, and to Kevin Smith's credit, he did have a really fun run, and it was a fun way to bring Green Arrow back. It wasn't like it didn't happen; it totally happened, but it was comic booky, convoluted enough that it was a fun adventure. And Kevin Smith during that run also created a character called Onomatopoeia. If you saw Batman: The Cape Crusader, Onomatopoeia was one of the villains in it. So it's all connected. So, but yeah, that's the whole. But yes. There we go. Scene. Nerdsplaining. No.
Scene. Very informative. How do we transition out of that? I don't know. But you mentioned a couple of things we want to talk about. But let's start with the TV stuff.
Sure.
And you said zombies, so let's start. I haven't seen Zombies. I know it's 4 episodes, and I was gonna wait probably till next week. There's no hurry for me to watch it. There's a big week and other stuff to watch. But you saw it.
I'll
your
say
thoughts?
It just in time, and by just in time I mean a month early for Halloween.
Because
I thought they were going to do
that's a fair point. Yeah.
I thought they were going to do one episode to build traction, but they just dumped it all 4 episodes. Now, mind you, each episode's about 30 minutes. Yeah, so I'm thinking like, oh man, is it going to be bad? And I got to tell you guys, it's really fun. At least every episode, not only does every episode has a really cool action sequence, but there's at least 3 deaths that you're just like, oh, and I was like, that's great. Like they did not pull back. It wasn't sensitized. It was murder in the highest degree. Like when these zombies kill you, especially superpowered zombies, they really lean into like, what would somebody with super strength who's a zombie look like if he karate chopped a soldier while fighting? And you you're like, wow, and it's crazy and it's really interesting. And a lot of it owes its DNA to the Marvel Zombies comic, which was written by Robert Kirkland, who of Invincible and Walking Dead fame, obviously. So there's little hints of that, but it's not a one for one comparison. And there's a really big. So remember in What If season 1, episode 4, which is 4 years ago. So if you don't remember, I don't
Yeah,
blame
it's
you.
been a while. Yeah,
But I'm on this show for a reason. So I remember. Eric Da Silva remembers. So
yeah.
uh, in episode season 1, episode 4, what if zombies? They introduced it, and at the end, the people who survived was Spider-Man, Black Panther minus a leg because Vision had lasered it off to feed it to zombie Wanda, and the head of Scott Lang, Ant-Man, which was connected to the cloak of levitation of Doctor Strange. And that's who survived. They were going to Wakanda to build the resistance. And as they're flying to Wakanda, the camera pans over and the entire city's been destroyed. And there's zombie Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet minus the Mind Stone, which they have. And they're like basically unintentionally flying to Wakanda with it in hand, essentially giving him the full Infinity Gauntlet. This series introduces some of the extra heroes that we did not see and how they sort of came to be in this new zombie world. And it in episode 3, they go, hey, remember zombies? What if zombies? It's all connected. And you see what happened to Thanos. And because of what happened to Thanos, it further complicated the world, but also it became the MacGuffin of the series, which is like, what are the bad guys trying to get? What are the heroes trying to protect? It's what happened to the Infinity Gauntlet, because of zombie Thanos and Wakanda. And the end is fun, bittersweet, and a little bit interesting. If I'm being realistic, I give it somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8 as an ending. I was like, it was good. I want a little bit more, but it's more a preference. I wanted a little bit it's sort of like I felt at the end of Ironheart, which is like, so she did sell her soul, so that, and I was like, okay, we're never gonna know. But this one, these are like, so then, and then it just stops, and I'm like, I respect it. I respect you not giving me everything, giving a little bit of a teaser, but a definitive ending one way or the other. And it ends like every good zombie movie, which is like, even when you win, you lose, but there's still a little bit of hope at the end. And that's any good zombie always ends like that. And so I recommend watch it. It's a definite, not a must watch, but if you do watch, really enjoy. If you're a hardcore Marvel fan, must watch. If you're a zombie fan and you want something fun for Halloween, watch. If you're just bored, watch while you're on your phone. And either way, you're going to enjoy
it. Fair enough. Watch on your phone. That wasn't the only show. Speaking of endings, you talk about the ending of Marvel Zombies. Alien Earth ended its run as well. We talked about Alien last week. Both really enjoyed thus far. I think 7 episodes at that time. Right. So episode 8, man, finale for the season. We know we got renewed.
Also, I didn't know it got renewed. That's great.
Oh yeah, it was renewed a couple weeks ago. They're already in.
Okay, cool.
Sure. Yeah, so we'll see that whenever, a couple of years maybe.
Sure.
That's it. Your thoughts on the final episode, man, and how it ended?
Are we doing full spoilers on this?
Yeah, spoilers. If you haven't seen it,
because we both watched
that's
it.
That's for like 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know. I've seen it. Absolutely.
I bought Alien Lives. When I saw him go in the body of the scientist on the beach, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted. Is it as good as him going into a hybrid body? No. But is it still good? Yes, it is. Like, dude, talk about a series that, sir, I had no expectations because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what they were going to do with it. And I've become a fan of every choice they made. Not one point that I was like, why? I was like, no, that's great. That's great. I've enjoyed all of it. I've enjoyed the moral complexities. I've enjoyed sort of the eventual letting humans fuck up everything for their own anyway. Because every great alien movie is aliens are there, and then humans is like, I think I know what I'm doing, and then you don't. And I was like, all that is fantastic. I didn't realize that aliens can come in different colors. Xenomorphs can come in different colors.
Oh, right. Yeah,
because this xenomorph is very built for camouflage in the jungle. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is about the human lung that makes you look like a force, but it's there, and I'm like, I'm cool with that. Uh, I've also always looked at the xenomorph as always the enemy, so to see it as sort of like a sidekick has been interesting because I've always known you were the main threat, and now you're like, "We'll get a boss." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah,
cool."
exactly. It's awesome.
That's great, and much like the title of the last episode, "The Real Monsters," you kind of start realizing it's the hybrids. The hybrids are not the next evolution of humanity; they are the Frankensteins, and
Yeah.
and what additional enhancements do they have because of it that they're not even aware of, and what does that mean? It's really interesting to see all the pieces they set up and everything. And I'm surprised that Boy Cavalier is still alive. I thought he was going to die in the end of this
I
episode.
thought so too. I was thinking he was gonna get whacked
Right.
for a time there. So I'm glad he did it
I'm glad
ultimately.
he did it. I will
Yeah.
say, super surprised when Timothy Olyphant's character got his back broken. I was like, oh,
Oh
I
yeah, I was
did
like,
not
damn,
see
that's
that one
right.
coming.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be like on the side of the hybrids. I didn't know they
Yeah.
were going to get dropped out. Like I didn't know they were going to bane him. Like, ooh, all right, done. So yeah, but all like all together, man, like they set up the terms and then they slowly break down their own terms and make you realize what was really happening in almost like a cold analytical sense versus the optimistic sense that they first deliver the series to you. The way you grow with these characters and realize actually it's kind of fucked up what's been happening. And when you come to realization, you're like, oh, I like that a lot. So yeah, really enjoyed it. If Marvel Zombies is like a 7.58, this series is like a 9.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I like the way it ended. I'm curious where they go from here. I hope they keep it small.
Yeah.
Which I assume they are. I don't know. I guess maybe the other corporations are getting in the action.
Well,
I don't know.
at the end of
Maybe.
the episode, there's a bunch of helicopters going in.
Yeah,
So
you see
clearly
helicopters.
something's gonna happen.
Right, could be what this the cyborgs company. I forgot the name of. I guess.
Wayland Yutani.
Right. So I don't know, but I got a feeling they need to stay in that environment, right? For the most part, I don't want
Right.
to see them go out there and cause havoc. That's not what the show is ultimately. They may have to do something like that at some point, but yeah, dude, I like the way it ended, man. This guy not dying, and all the major players not dying. I thought was a good thing, right?
Well,
For the
yeah,
for the
most
most
of
part,
them, because
for the most part, the major ones, major
because
ones.
you had like two of the Lost Boys died, and then you had that one
Well, fair,
scientist
sure.
that died, but he came back because of the alien,
He
the
came
eye
back.
alien.
I'm kind of curious how that plays into it because we don't know. He's probably in his zone. So we don't know. We have no idea what these motivations. Can he
Yeah.
talk? It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see if he's able to speak. I don't know. Because that alien changes everything.
It does.
Really
Which
does.
To me, that eye alien has become the
Fascinating.
MVP of the series. It's
No,
no
for
longer
sure.
the
Yeah.
xenomorph. It's the eye
Yeah,
alien that's
yeah,
like, oh, what's going on
exactly.
next?
And what's it doing? What it can do? I mean, very cool. I could have sworn. I kept thinking, was there a scene where he tried to take over the alien? I think.
Oh
I
no!
thought
What happened was
was
in
xenomorph anyway?
it was when the cyborg dude had taken over the ship. The eye alien had taken over with the mechanic of the ship, and he fought the xenomorph.
Right. He didn't try to take over.
Right,
the
right,
xenomorph. That's
right.
Okay.
But I will say, the idea the Boy Cavalier introduced, which is like, if I put you in a body that can communicate, what can you tell me?
Right.
Now, mind you,
Exactly.
that scientist is dead, so vocal cords may be like decaying.
Maybe. Yeah. Who
It's not gonna-
knows? But
right.
yeah.
But
But
if you get him into a living body or a hybrid body or a synthetic body,
well,
what
it
did that
tried the
happen?
synthetic. Remember that? What's her face? She blocked it
Right.
when they first met him when they came off the cat. So it can't do it. So I'm kind of curious. I think that changes the show. It really
It
does.
changes the show completely.
Because yeah, we don't know what that thing is up to, which is cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mystery. So listen, it was very well done. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for season 2 whenever. It's probably a couple of years, unfortunately. It's gonna be a while.
It's about
They'll
2
show
years.
it,
Give it 2 years. 2
They
years.
say 2 years, right? It won't be next year. I think that's clear.
Because the one thing the show does very smartly is like, if we can do it practical, we're doing it practical.
Right, exactly. It takes a lot of prep work and a lot of stuff. So whatever, it will take its time. That's fine. It is what it is. We'll see in a couple of years or early, maybe a year and a half, 2027.
If they rush it, yeah. But I mean, rush it into the production, like fast track it, right?
Yeah, if it start soon, yeah, maybe. So that's really good. The other show where they're speaking about is Gen V, which I think it's 4 episodes in. It dropped 3 episodes last week, which we forgot. We did the show before the show had aired.
So yeah, it's the curse of our scheduling.
Yeah,
What-
just
what-
all over the place. But we saw the last one came out, which I saw yesterday. So listen, your thoughts on Gen V thus far?
I mean, listen, my biggest, not one of my biggest, but one of my saddest concerns was that one of the guys, one of the kids from the first
Oh,
season, he died. And so I was like, how do you, and they addressed it in a way I was like, okay, all right. So like,
yeah, yeah.
it's so by doing that small little time jump, you kind of covered all your bases to let this thing out. But I really like the show. One, I mean, the whole boys universe. The thing they really do is they take the story they want to tell. They look what's happening in our society, in our world, and they mush it together as uncomfortably close as possible. And they go, now you see this, and
Mhm.
when you start seeing the constant spinning, which we've seen with the boys done before, but now with these kids who are not polished, who or are have the that stupid thing that we have when we're younger called optimism, and seeing them slowly break
Idiots.
in the shit show of adulthood, just crumbling around them. I was like, oh my god! Like I watch it, and it's I laugh with like a hint of fear in the back of my head every time. I'm like, what's gonna like that one girl who has the powers of if you ever read or the Inhumans, she's a character called Medusa. She controls her hair, and this girl has control
Oh,
her pubes. I'm like, God damn it, you guys!
it's
You're
funny.
always so good and
They
just
always
making
find
me
a way
feel so bad
to
about all my
yeah,
superheroes. I
to
love it.
top themselves just a little bit.
This every like I thought a dude exploding out of a dude a mini dude exploding out of a dude's dick was gonna be like that's a weird way to use an Ant-Man power. I stand corrected. You found another weird way to use another power I didn't think about. But that's sort of the fun
That's
of the
funny.
show is
Yeah.
taking the if everyone is garbage, how would people act with powers if they're also garbage as well? And then the people who have the hardest struggle are the people who are like the most morally the people who have the highest moral standard are the ones who suffer the most in this universe because they have to deal with just every other bad person around them, and it's horrible, and it's but when it works out, like I'm Gen V is I the boys I read the comics growing up, so I'm very much of those ideas, but I don't know the characters, but I remember their powers. So
Mhm.
the main girl who controls the blood, and the girl who could go between boy shape and girl shape.
Mhm.
That when they started hooking up, I was like, well, that's really sweet. And then we get the last episode, and they're forced. Now, mind you, it's all because they decided to stand up against Vought and tell the truth, and now they're forced to fight in this arena. I was like, oh my god, this is like how do you? And then, it was still fun, but it always takes like every. If I could say anything about Gen V, is I feel like the motto of the show is no good deed goes unpunished. Because whenever you try to do something good, three horrible things happen back to back because of it. And you're just like, all right, but I love the show. It's so much fun.
No, it's a fun show, and they have such good villains on the
Such good
show.
villains. The new
And this new
the new
guy, the whatever
headmaster.
the dean headmaster
Yeah,
is,
the
he's so
dean.
good. Yeah, yeah, so good, and obviously he does have something unique about his power. Oh, I guess because he has no compound. I guess from
Right.
what they said. So okay, introduces an interesting wrinkle to the show. Like maybe he has, I don't know, he developed them or science. I don't know, right? And he said that was his father in the little
I think so.
chamber, right? I
Yeah.
could have sworn he went. I thought it was Soldier Boy for a second.
Yeah, for a second
Uh,
I thought so too.
yeah, I was like, oh, no, never mind. This is fascinating. The villains elevate a good show,
Absolutely.
right? Particularly a show like this, some superheroes and stuff with Homelander or whatever, or
The
you know,
talk that the dean had with the father of the actor who died from the first season
oh yeah, yeah,
about what are you gonna do to get out of us, and like taking him through that whole process, I was like, oh,
yeah,
this guy's supposed to the head of everybody.
yeah.
I
That's right.
love that. I
Yeah,
love like,
yeah,
oh, you just had this idea. I had your idea 3 months ago, so I
yeah.
already
No, he's
thought about it for
super
you. And to show
smart,
you how I
and
was like, that's so good.
he's all open about his stuff. And like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. And, okay, and so I mean, so there's a lot of mystery in there. So it does. It's a fun show. It's a really
yeah.
good show and all that. I think. I thought The Voice is coming out this year. Maybe I was mistaken on that.
Well,
I guess
I don't know because I also know that
I
they're
could have
working
sworn.
on the Soldier Boy prequel series as well, where you're going to see like the original seven during World War II and coming out into like the 70s and 80s and everything like that. So they're working on both the boys and the prequel series, and then Gen V. So I'm surprised. I thought for some reason, I honestly thought the prequel series was going to come out first, and then Gen V, and then the boys. But
gotcha.
what do
Yeah,
I
I
know?
think boys is I just looked 2026, so pretty early on. So
Okay.
whatever. But yeah, so this really cool show you guys will be watching. If you're a fan of the boys, you haven't seen Gen V. Gen V's a good.
No drop in quality, toe to
Yeah,
toe as good as the boys.
it's a good supplement to the boys.
Absolutely,
That's a good way of
absolutely.
putting it. And they do an interconnect, especially
Yeah,
beginning of this season. Starlight came out. The Deep.
yeah.
The Frag guy, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I mean, perfect sense. It tracks. So that was really cool. So I think that's the last show. Yeah, the last shows. News-wise, there's a lot of stuff. Not a lot of stuff. A few things that came out. Spider-Man. A couple of things. We got, Tom Holland. Listen, his first name is Tom. I get it. You ain't Tom Cruise. You start doing your own stunts. It don't work.
Listen, if you play a superhero long enough, you start thinking, I'm super. I can do this.
Apparently, delusional Holland, some stunt went wrong, and he's okay now, I guess. But he suffered a concussion and stopped production for a week or two, which is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
It's like hundreds of thousands a day they lose on that, maybe more. But he's okay. But I mean, it's like, it's kind of curious. Why would I get Tom Cruise? He's a man. Only he can do what he do, and I get it. Hey, studio-wise, why do you allow your star to do anything? You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. They didn't allow it for like the first two movies. They gave him a little bit 3 and 4. Think about it. Tom Cruise didn't start doing his own stunts in the beginning, but as he got older and he was more Tom Cruise, he had more pull, he got to do the more stunts. And Tom Holland, listen, he's also a short white guy with brown hair who needs to prove something. So he's going to go, I'm Spider-Man too. And he's doing all, but you can't, listen, just because the CG can do it, just because the stunt guy can do it, doesn't mean you can do it. And I appreciate the movies.
You believe your own hype in the films. That ain't
and that's cool. We all believe our own hype.
Listen, we all wish we could do it. We all wish we could do it, but leave it to the professionals. That's why you pay the stunt guys.
Yeah.
Let them get hurt. Shame on Marvel. I'll put that more on Marvel than anything else. They don't allow.
I'm sorry. Shame on. I put the shame on Tom Holland. Shame on you for thinking
both.
You were fine.
But Marvel has it. If the Marvel
they have to prove it. But Tom Holland goes,
exactly.
I think I'll do this one. No, I think you sit down. Save that pretty face for the camera.
Exactly. I mean, it could have been worse than what it was, thankfully for him.
Absolutely.
Lucky in that. But that aside, they did a casting decision today. Marvin Jones, what's his rapper name or whatever, Crondone, whatever it's called. He was in Black Lightning, not that I saw the show, but he actually voiced Tombstone in Into the Spider-Verse.
Right.
And now he's cast as Tombstone for this movie.
And I love it because Tombstone's thing is that he's a black albino whose mutation is his albinism eventually shows that his skin becomes like as hard as concrete. And that's why they call him Tombstone, like the gray of a tombstone. So getting a black albino guy who already did the voice of the character, like, oh, they're perfect. No notes, keep doing it. Yeah,
it was a no-brainer. So it's interesting to see. I mean, you're gonna hear the talk, so many characters in the movie, and I get it. I don't anticipate him having a big role in this.
No,
because I think he also is a villain for Daredevil. No, am I wrong? Tombstone.
He is. No? He's a gangster villain. Okay. Think of it this way: there's in Daredevil and Spider-Man, they share a lot of gangster villains like the Owl and Hammerhead and characters of this thing. And Tombstone is one of those gangster villains. So, very Dick Tracy and that kind of thing. Oddly enough, we're talking about Zeb Wells' hated Amazing Spider-Man run. His big villain was Tombstone, who was the Kingpin of New York at this time because Wilson Fisk was out doing other things. So Tombstone assumed the Kingpin role. So I'm glad that they're bringing him in there. I'm glad that it's somebody, and I guarantee you, his role will probably be a little bit bigger than in the animated series. It's just enough to kind of do the thing. I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think he's the big bad. I don't think he's the mastermind. I think he's definitely an adjacent villain.
He's like the one you see in the beginning or something, or maybe the one that made up Spider-Man, Daredevil teaming up.
Sure.
Or no, I'm sorry, that's Punisher.
Punisher. But I'm kind of holding out that Daredevil's gonna show up. I kind of feel like. I think
we would have heard that by now. Nothing is secret anymore. Let's be honest. It's all out there. We would have known something. But maybe the Punisher is, the guy in Tombstone, villain for Tombstone.
Right.
I guess, maybe. But yeah, I don't anticipate him being a big role. I'd be shocked if he's not the main guy. You're right. Because we already have Scorpion in there, right?
Yeah.
There was someone else that they mentioned. I forgot who it was. The other villain. Wasn't there someone else? Another
There's
villain?
so many. There's Boomerang is supposed to be a villain in this. There's
He's
supposed
in
to be
that
Mr.
too. Okay.
Negative, maybe Lady
Okay.
Shiva.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, you go.
yeah,
Yes, yeah.
maybe
It's quite a few. It's
the
interesting.
Silver Samurai's
Yeah.
been thrown around. Like I don't even know. I don't
It's
even
a
know.
lot. It sounds like a lot.
Yeah,
Plus, you got Hulk and maybe Doctor Strange. Whatever.
right.
It's a big Doctor Doom supposed to be in this. I heard maybe. I don't know.
Really? I didn't hear that. Yeah,
I
okay.
heard. I heard something.
And
You hear a
nobody
lot of
knows who Sadie
stuff.
Sink is yet. We all know she's in it. Nobody knows who she
She's
is.
yeah. She's not the villain to right now. She's the love interest, obviously. I guess. I'm
Possibly.
assuming that, right? I don't know. Whatever. Maybe or Gwen Stacy or whatever. One of those two enough, but that's interesting. But we go from one superhero, another one, Batman, which you mentioned before early on, and there's a little
Right.
bit of news on there. Interesting news because Matt Reeves was talking about it, and we know the script is in, and the script's the greatest thing anybody's ever read.
Oh, as it always is.
Oh, what is right? Okay, water's wet. I get it. But I guess he talked about the villain. We always want to get the Rose Gallery Batman villains is his biggest story is Batman, right?
Listen, Spider-Man and Batman, best rogues galleries
But
in the whole world. So
right,
we
so
all want to know.
we all want to know who knows. So apparently he came out and said he didn't say who it was, but it's someone we never seen before on film, which is interesting. Because
Yes.
we've seen a lot, so we know it ain't Joker, Riddler. It's not Mr. Freeze or Poison Ivy, Bane, none of that stuff. So you probably mentioned your theory early. So who would you like to see as the villain
Well,
we've never
he said
seen
it's no one's seen it
before?
on film, and it affects Gotham's past. And the to me that automatically
Okay.
strikes Court of Owls, which is a
Okay.
secret. Think of like a secret organization, not a secret organization, a secret society of elites who control things from the background, and they have their own army of assassins called Talents, because their iconography is the owl, which is why in the original The Batman, one of the cards had an owl inscription on it, and it was asking like, "Who do you trust?" Something like that, and people are like, "Is the Riddler working for the Court of Owls? Did they supply him information to show that the Gotham is secretly corrupt, to use it against the people that they wanted to be removed?" Because if you think about it, if there was no Batman, the Riddler's plan would have taken out a lot of criminal and political elites and rechanged the power structure of Gotham to go a certain kind of way. We're not
For,
talking about blowing up the dam. We're just talking about where the city could have gone.
right.
That sounds like a very making the Riddler almost like a useful idiot for them. So to reveal that they are the people behind that makes it interesting. And they have these assassins called the Talons. So now Batman has somebody to fight. And the in the original New 52 run, when they introduced the Court of Owls, the head of the Court of Owls became revealed himself to be essentially a character called Owlman, which is basically like an evil version of Batman in one of the alternate universes. But they made like this is his first in DC universe appearance, Owlman, as the head of the Court Owls. Now they may not have to call him the Owlman, but you could have him in sort of like an owl-like type armor suit that looks like Batman, and they can fight. And so you have the physical component fighting there, but you have the intellectual side, which is trying to figure out the secret say exists. How do you take them down? And so you get the detective side and you get the physical side. I think that's the one that be the most interesting. A lot of people are saying Hush. Hush is a character that is basically what if Bruce Wayne was a psychopath at 8, and because he basically is like, oh, Bruce Wayne, your parents died and they left you all your money and you're sad. I think having all my parents' money would be cool. So he arranges to have both his parents die in an accident, and then confesses, "I murdered my parents. Now we're alike. We both got all our parents' money, and we can do what we want." And Bruce Wayne is like, "No, you're crazy." And so that is that is that is Hush. Hush is kind of interesting, but the Court of Owls is there's way more mileage out of Court of Owls than just Hush. So that's where I'm looking at.
Is anybody else that maybe? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like,
Uh,
I mean, Deathstroke's
no, I
kind of
mean
been in a film,
connected to
but
their
not
past.
really.
I'm trying to think here because Joker, they've referenced that
It's
Joker
not.
might technically be immortal, so he may have been infected in the past, but it's not.
It's not Joker.
Uh,
Obviously, we know it's not Joker.
right,
Obviously.
I know. I maybe Doctor Hugo Strange because he's a therapist and he tries to psychoanalyze and deconstruct Batman and go crazy. So maybe you could do that.
interesting.
And other villains that have not showed up in the screen before, you have Clayface. I mean, granted, they're making a Clayface movie.
They're making the movie, so yeah, it's
yeah,
not
I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah.
Trying to think here. Any other Black Mask was already in Birds of Prey, so you can't use him.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so you can't do that.
Deathstroke, the one I thought of, because
Deathstroke kind of showed up in the Zack Snyder one.
I mean,
it's not
end credit scene, so it doesn't really count. I don't know. I mean, it's a technicality.
It is a technicality. It's a technicality.
I don't know. Maybe you can say hasn't been on film as a feature character.
And I'm only thinking about like major, like these are
of course,
big deal Batman villains. You know, like for example, one of my favorite Batman villains is super weird. Is a guy called the Ventriloquist, which is the guy who walks around with a dummy of a gangster, and the gangster is the brains of the operation, and the ventriloquist is considered the consigliere of the dummy. But the dummy is so smart that all his crimes are pulled off and it works out great, but he's also super brutal and vicious and violent. So and his gang is literally scared of the puppet, but not the ventriloquist. So
interesting.
Yeah. So but once again, is that the biggest villain? No.
Right.
It's a great niche villain, but it's not the best.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And it's kind of silly if you don't do it right.
Yeah.
So it works with animated more than it does.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. For something that works well in film, I think Court of Owls is the way to go.
Okay. That'd be interesting. It makes more sense. I think it's more layered.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we'll see, but that's interesting that they said that. So at least we know who it's not going to be. At least we can narrow it down. You know, Penguin comes back. I mean, I think Penguin will be in this one. I think he's supposed to be.
Well, he's the new head of crime in Gotham.
Right. But he's going to be a side. He's not going to be the villain of the film.
Right. But what better way to show that there's a society out there that's stronger than the Penguin's organization? Sure. And if the Penguin's like, I thought I ran Gotham. I was wrong. There's a thing behind above me.
If you know Penguin, he could be passing information on to the Batman.
Uh-huh.
For his own, of course, benefit.
Right.
Of course,
absolutely.
That's what the Penguin is. So all that makes sense. So we'll see. But that's very interesting. Another thing, I was going to head to the last thing, but it just popped in my head because we talked about Superman last week and about potential villains and whatever, you know, teaming up with Lex Luthor. And I guess James Gunn dropped a pretty big hint. We can all infer who the villain is going to be. He put a picture of the script, bounded and all that, in the front, the title of the film, and a picture of kind of a male anatomy of the head of it, you know, you can see inside to their head and brain. I mean, it's pretty clear.
It's Brainiac.
Yeah. Right? I mean, what else could it be? Unless he's just messing with us. But it's Brainiac. So I think, which is fine, right? I mean I always want to see I don't know if I want to see Brainiac in this film so soon. But whatever.
I'm actually okay with it because
it's fine. It's fine.
I've not seen Brainiac in movies.
Correct.
And I want that. I've been wanting. My biggest gripe with Man of Steel, my biggest gripe with Superman, should have been Brainiac.
No, for sure. And we said that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think we're speculating on the original Superman.
That's what I'm saying.
We want to see Brainiac. So it's good to see Brainiac. Based on the story I'm seeing, I would prefer to see him later. But that's fine. Whatever. I want to see Brainiac, so that's kind of cool. So unless he's messing with us, you know. Yeah, so unless he's fucking with us, it's Brainiac.
I mean, it would be a great troll if it's like.
It'd be a good troll. I mean, he could be trolling, and everyone's Brainiac, and then before you know it, the rumor drops and it's someone else, which is even better.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just setting up Brainiac in this one.
Who knows?
He doesn't have to be the main guy. It could be just the guy behind.
No, make it the main guy. Just make it the main guy.
I'm just saying it could be. You could make it a different villain with at the end you find out Brainiac is there, and now you open up that world with Brainiac.
Sure.
Forward. So I'll mention that. Last thing, so Star Wars, which so often we talk about Star Wars and all the goodness.
Sometimes it's good. Most of the time.
Speaking of needing to be Jimmy Kimmel, is Star Wars at this point.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for Christ's sake. But whatever. Listen, so we got the trailer for a little early, which surprised me. It's like a year away. It's kind of hard to drop a trailer, but whatever. Mandalorian, Grogu came out.
What's more of a teaser trailer than a trailer, right?
It's a trailer, but it's still pretty early to get that kind of trailer. It's a year away. So it's pretty early. But either way, this thing came out and dropped. So your thoughts on the trailer, man?
You know what? You know what? First of all, let me just say the reveal of the logo felt right out of like classic 1950s like adventure pulp. Like and I was here for that. I like that logo display. What I really liked about the trailer is that it wasn't world ending. It wasn't the entire galaxy's depending. It looks like an adventure. And I like that. It looks like this is a big adventure, but if you die, the world doesn't end. It's just certain people are going to be inconvenienced because the bad guys won. But if you beat it, you stop the bad guys, and the world's a little better. You didn't save all the problems. You can tell this when this movie's over. It's not going to be like the Empire is defeated. No, it's and then this is. It almost feels like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, it was an adventure. The world wasn't, granted, you could say like, well, the Ark of the Covenant could have changed the world. It goes, oh yeah, but
Yeah.
but it's not like a nuclear bomb that took out a city. You would have to aim it, and it could have changed the tide of battle. But this is them trying to possess it. In Temple of Doom, it wasn't the end of the world, but evil could have spread across India. But this is just this one adventure, and I feel like this is what it feels very, very Indiana Jones. It's an adventure that if he loses, the world becomes worse. But if he wins, the world's a little bit of a better place, and I like that.
Yeah, it was fine. With the exception of one scene, it felt like okay, an extended episode on the film.
I
Right?
mean,
It
I,
didn't
I
have that big screen, big epic kind of thing. You want to see if you're doing a movie release, you have to make it more than a show. I think personally, the ad scene was cool. That was the only thing
right.
cinematic that I saw in there. Everything else just seemed like the show, which is fine, I guess. But
Listen, we saw a muscular hut, so
it's
how
almost
dare
a
you?
whatever. It's
You ever see a
CGI.
hut with a six pack before? I haven't, and now I'm like, okay,
And CGI looked shitty. It looked
did it?
volume.
I thought it looked fine. I thought it looked good.
It felt like a lot of volume. It felt like a TV, like a 2 hour episode of a TV show. That's what it
I,
seemed
I,
like.
I
And
disagree, and I think the reason why you're feeling that way is because they focus a lot of Grogu shots. A lot of Grogu shots feel small because it's very standard, like mini puppetry and stuff like that. I think the movie is big, like the hints of how big it's going to be based on the different locations. I think this movie is going to be a little bit bigger than you expect, but not world ending. It's not Endgame.
it's not. It's not. Just the look and feel. We've seen shows go to film and it changes the aesthetic of it, right? They change it on
Right.
purpose. This look like they literally just they could have shot this for TV and they said we want to put it in the theater, and then that's what I'm talking about. It
I think it looks a little
looked
bit better than a
like
standard episode, but it
like
does
when
keep a lot of the aesthetics of the episodes.
which way I don't want to see. That's what TV's for. That's
Okay.
where you have a smaller budget. You have a big film budget. You don't need to use the volume. You really don't. The volume is
I
not great for
Once again,
film.
I don't think they use the volume of this.
Oh, they use the volume. They trust me. They use the volume.
Oh, really?
I guarantee you use the
Okay.
volume. Not everything, but they use volume. But it's just it didn't. It felt like an episode, which is fine. I mean, if episode season 3, this movie's gonna suck. If it's episode season 1, it's probably gonna be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know what you're gonna get out of this, right? We don't know. It looked okay. It looked fine. It looked fine.
Uh, I
It's Star
saw
Wars,
I
and Kathleen Kennedy's still at the head of the studio. So why should we believe anything in Star Wars is gonna be great? Why should we?
as someone who liked season 3 of The Mandalorian, I know I'm in the minority. I know I liked it. I thought it was fun. If this, I don't want it to be as good as season 3.
You don't want it to be season
1.
3. You don't
I
want to be
wanted.
season 3.
I like season 3, but season 3 was not my favorite season.
That's what I'm saying. Even you liking season 3 don't want it to be just as good as season 3.
Absolutely, no,
That's
absolutely
what
don't
I'm
want to
saying,
be.
right.
Yeah, I want it to be
Agreed,
closer to
yeah.
season 1 and 2. So if
For
you
sure.
give me that I'm cool with it, like looking that way, as long as it feels like those first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And like I said, it's early. It's hard to get excited when it's a year away. This isn't like if it was Avengers. There's probably a little more excitement.
Sure. And also, we don't
Um,
even know what the real plot. We just saw scenes. We don't have no idea.
oh no,
what the
we
plot
have no idea
whatsoever.
what's going on. Of course, it's a teaser, right? For the most
Yeah.
part. But it's fine. It was fine. Again, whatever. It's Star Wars, and it's been 7 years. It will be 7 years. It's a long time to get a film.
Listen, if they end up doing
You know,
another Star Wars movie with 0 lightsabers, touche. I would be very cool with that because only Rogue One's the only one that's been able to really do that. Really, Solo kind of had quasi saber type things.
we still have Vader on the end of Rogue One.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so
Rogue One did have that. Yeah.
So it still kind of had it.
Yeah. Okay,
I mean,
touche. Color me
they've all,
correct.
I guess they all had it, right?
Yeah. So I feel like Mandalorian might be the first movie to have
Might be.
zero
It
lightsabers.
could be. It could be. Yeah, because Grogu doesn't have a lightsaber,
Go
right?
Grogu does not have a lightsaber. No.
Not a lightsaber, right? Okay, okay.
Nope.
Yeah, unless you see what's the or the blade, what's it called?
The dark saber.
Yeah, dark saber, which is possible.
Sure.
It's part of the lore of the show, so we may see it. I don't know.
It's already
Yeah.
pre-established, but
Right.
if
So maybe,
if they
maybe
don't do it, even better. I'm like, don't
that'd be
do it.
interesting. That because I'm trying to think, yeah, because yeah, all 9 movies obviously had it.
Yeah.
Rogue One, Solo. You mentioned Solo.
Solo had quasi sabers, like these heated blade things that they took out. So I was like, all right, it's kind of
That kind of saber adjacent.
saber adjacent, sure.
Fair enough.
But
That's
Darth
fair.
Maul did show up, and he had a lightsaber on him.
That's fair
So
point. He was there, so yeah, you're right. This might be the only one potentially, so that'll be interesting.
potentially,
But let's see. Like, I want to see what that second trailer looks like.
sure,
Maybe they're working on the effects. It happens all the time. Effects improve over the
right.
course over 6 months. So that trailer comes out.
I
Which
mean, listen, if you want to talk about changes of effects, just look at the Superman trailers. If you remember the very first trailer, when they threw a can in his head, he flinched, and then
oh yeah,
they
I know,
took the flinch
yeah.
out. So
That took that
they're
out.
always tweaking.
No, no, he's tweaking, and I got a feeling this may be. I don't know if they'll do a Super Bowl for this one. Maybe. Does it feel
I
like a
don't know if
Super
they're going to Super Bowl
Bowl
for this one.
esque? I don't think it feels like that. I don't think
No,
so.
I
I don't
think you
think so,
want to
right?
save that for Doomsday. Doomsday is going to be your Super
For
Bowl.
sure, we're getting a teaser for Doomsday.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Lock it in 100%. 100%. But I don't know if this one gets it. And of course, I'm thinking Supergirl. Well, actually, let me not say that because Superman didn't get one either.
Superman didn't get one either, right?
He
Superman did
didn't
not
get
get
one
one.
either, so I don't see why Supergirl will get one.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But to be fair, Superman is more of a well-known IP than Supergirl. Supergirl might need that extra little nudge.
It may, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. I think
Right.
it'd be wise for them to do it.
Right.
For a Super Bowl, but whatever. What do I know? But again, Superman didn't, so fuck, I guess if he ain't worthy, who is apparently?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
That's
Big
what I'm
guns,
saying.
He's your guy. He's the crown jewel. So whatever. But yeah, all that said, so that's all for the week, man. The Nuggets.
Guys, that has been the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the love and support you always give us. Don't forget to go to our YouTube channel, the Latin Nerd Network, and like this show, Nerdsplaining, right here. You like other shows, like the Watch List at Dennis and Choice, and much more stuff coming along. Don't forget to get ericdasilva.com, EricDasilva. Pick up my album, Adore Will Be Offensive. Also, go to dangersquad.com, where you can pick up my digital comic, Danger Squad. It's a kids comic for 8 to 13-year-olds. So if you're a nerd or a nerd parent, or kids, if you're a kid who is, why are you watching the show? This is totally inappropriate for you. But if you're already watching the show, buy the book anyway. It'd be great. Make your parents read you it. It's fantastic. And let us know what you thought about Gen V. Let us know what you thought about Alien Earth. Let us know what you thought about Marvel Zombies. Let us know what you thought about the Batman and the scripts of Superman and all the things we talked about. We want to know from you. Are we right? Are we wrong? And don't forget to pick up your Marvel versus DC. Marvel DC, not versus, but Marvel DC comic. Pick it up right now. Next one comes out in November. We'll talk about that as well. Guys, as always, I've been Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know. Boom.